Hello, this is Daniel Vale, professionally known as Johnny Mac, and welcome to this edition of the Johnny Mac Show, or really the Daniel Vale Show. And I want to talk to you all about WWE's first ever Royal Rumble from way back in 1988. I'm gonna, I got the Peacock app right here on the cell phone. I'm gonna look it up on the Peacock app. I'm going to talk about it as I'm live here on YouTube. So get in that living room. Testing something out here. Let me talk about this past Monday night's Royal Rumble. Excuse me. Okay. If there's anything to fuss about this past Saturday's show, it was really only one thing I can say. Really, only one or two things I can say. But one thing that really stands out to me is how I don't know why they decided to put the U.S. heavyweight title belt on Logan Paul. But one thing I will say that was different was when Kevin Owens took the brass knucks and he used it. He caught Logan Paul's hand, grabbed the brass knucks out of it, put it on his right hand, and hit Logan Paul. What I do have to give them credit for is how they had Kevin Owens have his right hand when he hooked the leg of Logan Paul. They had him pick up his hand far enough like this to where the referee could see the brass knucks. And I pointed out to my mom that, this is all, you can see how much it's agreed upon because of how long and how good Kevin Owens is. He would know how to conceal that if he was supposed to win. I do have to give them credit for that, but it's at the same time, it's disappointing that they're keeping the U.S. title on him, because let me give you a perfect example. The last time a celebrity came into the wrestling business as a fan, probably try to give it some publicity. Well, actually, this case was definitely to give them publicity because he had just made a movie with them. It was back in WCW in 2001 whenever David Arquette, not only did they make a movie with him, but he had decided to go on Nitro to promote it. And at one point, I remember thinking, well, boy, they really went all out with this because they had a party to promote it, and Jeff Jarrett said on TV he was going to crash the party. And I remember either on a Monday night or on a Wednesday or Thursday night that week, prior week, they had said how he had gotten upset about getting hit with his own guitar by David Arquette because he was not part of the movie. So he felt like, well, why are you doing this to me? I'm not part of this movie. And of course, it was all agreed upon. To make the point, when I knew they were going to do something with David Arquette when they had Jeff Jarrett hit his finisher that we now is called the stroke. which is just a forward Russian leg sweep. And when that ended, I think it was Thunder. The Thunder episode, I knew something was going on, but what I did not know was that they're going to use him in a wrestling match and give him the world title. And I think, in the grand scheme of things, he was given the belt. Then they made it look like this was all a plan for him to give it to somebody else. And that's when they had that. That's when they took a match from the movie that they made and they put it in a pay-per-view, and that's when he finally lost the title. So I think that's why I think this is so disappointing, is because he's doing this like he's a regular superstar, and they're not even putting anybody with him. They're just putting him against his regular opponents. And if they really wanted to capitalize on his popularity, they would have him talk about Logan Paul. I forgot for a second. Got to mention him for a second. But Logan Paul has, just like Mark Mero, Marcus Bagwell, I think, yeah, even pretty Paul Roma from the 1980s and the early 90s. Those three guys, and Booker T, all of them used to be Golden Gloves boxers, I believe. So if they had let him use that without secretly using brass knucks, I think that would work better for him. Now, as far as the Royal Rumble match goes, try not to overthink this, but what I will say, I'm gonna try not to overthink this, but what I do feel in my heart and mind, to really be honest about this, is even though Bailey and Liv Morgan were thrown over the top rope and they were both on the apron, in my mind, it would make more sense to me if Bailey would have let Liv Morgan in and then clothesline her over the top rope. Being on the apron, when you eliminate one person, I just think, fairly speaking, to be fair about it, those two people should get back in there and then do another elimination. That's just how I think. That it's not Bailey winning it is not necessarily disappointing. It's just the way it was done that disappointed me, because it confused me. And I can't explain why, but it just did. And then I just said what happened with Kevin Owens' U.S. title challenge, and how the only reason Logan Paul is still champion is because the referee caught Kevin Owens with the brass knucks. And then I believe, because of how long just the Royal Rumble match is, I think that's why they didn't have. Oh yeah, outside of that, you have the Fatal 4-Way match for the World Heavyweight title. What did I think about that? I think that the fact only one member from the Bloodline interfered out of the entire match, I'd say that it was a pretty good match, and I really could not have thought of a better way to end it. So I liked the finish. The one thing I'm trying, said I was gonna look at Royal Rumble, and this might be 2 or 3 parts. But before I look at Royal Rumble, 1988. I want to look at the end of. I can probably find this on YouTube easier. Here on YouTube, excuse me. I can actually, as I'm looking on the YouTube app on the phone, I always wanted to see how my picture looked from this from my live videos. So I think I like this. I think this is neat. It's interesting how it mirrors. It is just like a mirror. So now that I'm looking at a picture from my live video here, I can see how what we see is a mirror to how they are in reality when they film. I think that's neat. Okay. CM Punk injury. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, they happened so fast. I can't see. Can't see what happened, but I think I think Drew McIntyre didn't keep his. I think he quite got it. I know what happened. He didn't. He didn't have the full extension of his legs like he usually does. So when he hit the Claymore, no, when he hit the Future Shock DDT, he didn't have the full extension. So when he hit it on Punk, that's why Punk's right tricep got injured. So when he went to pick his legs up, all went up was his knees, not his feet. So that's why he could not get the right leverage to hit the Future Shock DDT. Now, I for a few seconds, actually a couple of minutes, I wasn't sure if they were going to have. I'm not sure if Cody Rhodes was going to win or not. But when he won, I was so happy because it gave him that chance to finish the story like he wanted last year. And it's gonna be interesting to see who he chooses. So whether he chooses uh, to do another match with Reigns or to do a match with Rollins, he's finishing his story either way. That's what I like about this. Okay, so we go back to Peacock. They're welcoming everybody. This was in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, in the Cops Arena. Huh. What's interesting about this was the first time up to this point that we see a contract signing happening, and it was for a rematch between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3 from the year before. And this was going to be for Saturday night's main event. And that's what's interesting about this. Andre the Giant in a sport coat and a regular shirt and pants. Hulk Hogan with a headband and his red and yellow T-shirt. Also, there'll be a tag team title match for the women's titles against the Glamour Girls and the girls from Japan. She had a 3 falls, as a matter of fact. And also, Dino Bravo attempted the bench press mark of over 705 pounds. Frenchie Martin in his corner. Bobby Heenan, his Elite Islanders in a tag team match against the Young Stallions, Paul Roma and Jim Powers, I believe. Before I continue this, say this. What I liked about this is it was not just the first ever Royal Rumble, but it was a regular pay-per-view, so they had 2 or 3 matches, or 4 matches now that I'm thinking about it, or at least 2 matches that were not on the air. And then they had the Royal Rumble match. That's what I think is interesting about it. Okay, the first match is Ravishing Rick Rude versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I believe. And it was legendary ring announcer Howard Finkel who was doing ring introductions. And in these days, they would have their security were legitimate. They're either city police officers or they were police officers for the arena. They had about 4 officers escort Ricky Steamboat to the ring. And I'm sure before they came on the air, they had about 10 or 15 officers escort Rick Rude to the ring. Because that's how over he was as a heel. The more popular you were in those days, they would have about 4 superstars, no, 4 officers escort you to the ring. Okay, the referee could be Earl Hebner, could be Dave Hebner, I'm not sure. The telling them, he's asking them if they understand the rules. Then he calls for the bell. See, walk up, forearm from Rick Rude to the neck, and then to the right hand. Oh, to the face. A couple of regular right hands, 3 right hands to the face. Comes back to Steamboat with a couple of chops. 2, and then a right hand, and then a chop across the chest. Then a regular chop across the forehead, but gets an eye rake by Rick Rude. Throws him over the top rope. He skins the cat. His old expression comes up. He backflips Rick Rude over the top rope. does some hosting, I think, to taunt Rick Rude. Mhm. And they still had the over the top rope disqualification rule, I think. So he was pointing that out that he threw him off the top rope, but all he did was flip him. He didn't throw him over. Gets back in there and he's challenging him to a test of strength. Mhm. Ricky Steamboat's not sure about this. Okay, let's see. Okay. They do the test of strength. You see this a lot in these days. So a lot when I look back at old videos like this, there's a lot of things I wonder why they stopped doing. And this is one of them. He's getting the better of it this time, Recruit is. Yeah, he's getting him down to a knee, left knee. And he gets him down to the other knee, so he's got them both down to both of his knees. But Ricky Steamboat's get back in there as he lives. He's turning the tables on Rick Rude. He turns it into a wristlock and he takes him down by tripping him. He goes for a wristlock. Armbar, actually. It's closer to an armbar from what I'm understanding. Ooh, tightens the grip. Picks him up. Ooh, straight down. See, pulls it. He tightens the arm some more. A couple of times. 3 times he pulls down on it. Gets Recruit down to a leg. Then comes down with a karate chop to knock him completely down onto the mat. Goes back to the arm bar. See. Recruit gets to his feet. See what he does now. A slug from Recruit. Ooh, forearm. Recruit. Then Irish by Recruit. Irish whip misses that right handed back through the does Ricky Steamboat with a baseball slide through to go underneath Recruit. Gets him down with an arm drag into an arm bar. Oh, see. Gets him back down to one leg as Recruit on his right leg, then his left leg goes down. He's trying to get to the ropes. See. Another karate chop slows him down. See. Ooh. Forearm close to an elbow, if not an elbow. 3 times, 4 times to the jaw of Steamboat. Steamboat responds with a couple of chops. The right hand to the forehead. Irish whip reversal by Recruit. He counters that attempt of a Irish whip with an Irish whip of his own. Goes for and he gets an arm drag into an arm bar. Let's see. I think yeah, an elbow over his shoulder. He was able to get a 2 count on him. Sorry, I forget to keep my head up like this. My neck hurts. Let's see. See. Jump up. Ooh. Does a splash over left arm of Rick Rude to keep him rounded. He goes for another armbar on the right arm of shoulder actually of Rick Rude. Tightens it with another wrist lock. Kick to the abdomen. Goes Rick Rude, then a right hand. Another right hand. The right hand. I think they're supposed to do closer to like this with the forearm than with this. See. Ooh. See. Kick into the gut. Right hand. Right hand. Okay. Another right hand. Who's doing this? I think you're supposed to. This is where it's good that they get trained like they do. I think it's supposed to be with the forearm and not with the hand. That's how they're always warned by the referee. Puts Recruit's forehead into the turnbuckle pad, the one that's closer to them. He just kicks Rude into the gut and another right hand Irish whip. Knocks Steamboat down with his left elbow. Another right hand. The right hand. He goes into the other corner turnbuckle pad with Ricky Steamboat's forehead, and a third one. The third time he does it. Looks like you're gonna do the fourth one. Okay. He's hit with the chop, but he comes back with the eye rake. Then he does a right hand and another right hand. Another one. Okay. Irish whip. He does another scoop, or baseball slide as I like to call it, 2 in a row. Then as Rude is running, he runs right into another arm drag by Ricky Steamboat. Goes for another arm bar on his left arm. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Puts the knee into the back of the shoulder blade of, or close to the shoulder blade of Recruit. Comes back. This time he puts his hand into Recruit's hand, starts almost like turn it, comes back with a chop. This time to his, looks like his arm and not his shoulder. Could have been a shoulder though. So that's what's really being affected. Another wrist lock into Irish whip. Reversal by Rude. Hits him with a right elbow as he comes back, knocks him down. Steamboat though is selling it by setting up. Let's see. This hits Steamboat a couple of times, the right hands. Okay. Another right hand. Okay. Comes back to the Steamboat. A couple of right and chop, and another chop, and a right. Chop across the forehead, then a chop across the chest a few times. Does he do that? Irish whip to Steamboat. A couple of times he ran. Third time he gets kicked in the left side of his ribs. And he falls through the ropes out onto the floor. Steamboat goes out. No, Rue goes out there after him. Pushes him, throws him almost like into the ringing apron. Then he gives him a scoop slam or a body slam onto the the mats outside. I remember when he inducted Rude, did Steamboat, he mentioned how one time Rude had he had Rude, he worked on Rude's ribs so badly that when he did the pose that he was just doing here, he was so good that he knew when and where to do it, to his detriment though, because he forgot he was hurting in his ribs and he stopped himself because of the pain. But that just showed how well he knew what he was doing. He's got Steamboat um, face like does the vertical suplex before they gave him another right hand. Does an nonchalant cover, so of course Steamboat kicked out after two. I think this is half of a camel clutch, because he doesn't have Steamboat's arms over his knees. So I'd say this is half of a cobra clutch. Jumps up and down to keep the momentum, or actually to keep them be able to reapply the hold on Steamboat. Okay, the second time he's about to stand up or try to stand up. Ooh, jumps up and down on him again. Rikuru taunts the crowd by posing. Okay, back on the half of a camel clutch on him. It's doing so good that the referee picked up Steamboat's arms 3 times. I don't know what happened, but he picked it up 3 times, picked it up a fourth time. That says to me there was a mistake there. So he's starting to come back, starts hitting the mat to get the crowd to get behind him. This time he puts his arms around Rude's legs so he can pick him up. And I think we call this electric chair. Goes back, yeah. We call that the electric chair, all right. Let's see. Goes for that splash, lands on his legs because Rude picked up his legs against his stomach. Right back to being on the end control is Recruit, and he does another eye rake. He's going for the old fashioned atomic drop. Gets it. Recruit just fell straight down. No, Ricky Steamboat fell down after the maneuver was connected. Cover by Rude 2. Kick out. Let's see. Okay, going back to that half of a camel clutch, but Steamboat's quicker at putting his arms around his legs, and this time he pushes him again to the corner where the ropes are at. He puts his forehead into the turnbuckle pad, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Snapmare. Then he does a diving chop over the forehead of Rude. Cover 2, kick out by Rude. Side headlock takedown by Rude after he kicked Steamboat in the midsection. Steamboat gets out of it with head scissors. He gets out of it in a pinning position. But here's Steamboat he was he was stretching out. I forgot how you say that. With the backslide, now he goes for a roll up for 2. After the backslide didn't help. Let's see. Jackknife cover, 2, kick out. Oh, Steamboat countered with his version of a inside cradle. Then Steamboat gave him. Then he countered with his version for only 2 count. He gets an eye rake by Rudy that hits him with the left clothesline. 1, 2, kick out by Steamboat. Let's see. Looks like he's going for vertical suplex. Steamboat blocks it with his leg. Okay, so Steamboat does it instead. Perfectly executed on Rude. Goes to the top rope for that diving crossbody. Ooh, because the referee was pulled in front, Steamboat, he gets hit in front of Rude, that is, by Rude. He gets hit with a diving crossbody press, means by the rules, Steamboat wins by disqualification. Still don't have a decision yet, but he's walking to the back already. Rick Rude actually was surprised at this. They go to commercial break or whatever they called it in those days. While they're doing that, we've got a 60-minute advertisement here on Peacock. So it's going to be more than one part because usually when I go past an hour, it's hard to have these episodes or videos be uploaded quickly. So I'm going to stop right here and do a part 2. Thank you and goodbye.